What's up guys, Boss here, and I'm back with another YouTube video. And this time we're going to be playing ladder using the best XBOW deck in the game currently. So you guys have probably seen it before. It's the new XBOW deck. It used to have Mega Minion in it instead of the Tesla, I believe, but Tesla's just so much better. And this has just been the most dominant XBOW deck. In fact, the #1 finisher last season, who was Michifu, finished #1 with this XBOW deck. It's really good. He's obviously the best XBOW player in the world, but it proves that if you play it really well, it's a very consistent deck and works in pretty much every meta. And the Rocket's really useful to have because there's certain matchups where it's quite difficult to get an XBOW connection, so what you need to do is play defensive XBOWs and then Rocket, cycle in double and triple elixir. That only applies though for some matchups. There are a lot of matchups though where it is easy to get an XBOW connection, especially in single elixir. It all just depends on the matchup. Before we get into the first game, you guys can use my creator code BOSS in any Supercell game to support me. I really do appreciate all the support. It means a lot, helps me and helps the channel as well. So let's get into the first game. I'm a little lower on ladder. Reason why is because I didn't play much ladder today and yesterday. I've actually been watching a lot of CRL. As you guys know, the CRL East season has already been going on, and then CRL West started this weekend as well, so lots of matches to watch. I don't know if you guys have been watching it, but it's been really exciting in my opinion. You know, a lot of good players. I think the players this season are better than the players last season. Okay, so I'm just going to Tesla. I was really tempted to go for an XBOW, but he might have RG, so it's a little risky. Okay, so definitely going to XBOW now because it's looking like Golem. Oh, Giant. Whoa. Thought it was Golem because he's got the Night Witch. But I guess not. So we're just going to defend this as cheaply as we can. So you notice how I didn't use the Knight? I didn't really... Whoa. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? It might seem weird that I'm letting that connect to my tower, but he's so low on elixir right now. He just played a balloon. And I'm pretty sure... Like, I could be wrong, but I don't think he has elixir to defend this. Please, I hope it takes tower or at least gets me more damage than he got to me on my tower, or else it's not worth it. Oh, so it didn't work out as I was hoping. He managed to... I didn't know he had barbarians, and barbarians are quite a good distraction to the XBOW. I mean, we pick up a lot of damage on his tower, but I was hoping I'd be able to take the lead, because he was really low on elixir after he went for that balloon, so I kind of went for a little bit of a risky play, I guess you could say, and it didn't really pay off. I was hoping to get a lot more damage than that. But I still think we're fine. We're just going to set up for defense here. I'm actually going to go for a defensive XBOW and then go for, when he plays the balloon, a Tesla. Might just play it early, to be honest, because he has more damage in the left lane. And we're just going to try to tornado it to the king. Alright, so there's the arrows. Night Witch is going to get some damage, but I don't think it's going to be too much. Let's go for a tornado to pull the giant away and get the XBOW locked on the tower. Okay, he's going to go for a nice zapper setting it, but I think we should be fine here on defense just because we have 2 Ice Wizards down. And now might be our chance to get the... Wow, so that's actually super unlucky. The Skeleton Dragon's pushed the balloon away, so we can't go for the tornado activating the King Tower, otherwise the balloon would have gotten hit. And at this point in the game, with him already having quite a lot of damage on my tower, I can't... Ooh, really nice log pushing the giant back, so then that way the Skeleton Dragons go in front. And now we can go for a Tesla, finally being able to activate the King Tower. I lied. The balloon's going to take too much damage. Oh my gosh. I really want to activate King, but it's kind of pretty difficult to do, to be honest, at this position in the game with how much stuff is going on. But I guess we don't really need to. We can just focus on defense And then we're at a pretty close point where we could probably just cycle to rockets on his tower. Or actually with this Expo connection, I think we can just, yep, rocket, finish off the game. Rocket does 580 damage, I believe, for those of you who don't know, a maxed rocket. I think it's 580, so it's a good number to memorize. So not bad, pretty nice first win. Sucks we weren't able to get the king activated. That was a nice, I don't know if he intentionally was going for the bypass, but the balloon ended up bypassing the Tesla because there was minions or skeleton dragons that pushed it out of the way. So you kind of have to be careful about that whenever you're using a building because that can happen. So I probably should have played the, you know, the Tesla perhaps a little bit closer to the left, but it doesn't really matter anyway, because we still got the win, but we're against Fight Me. Okay, so he's going to go for a Musketeer. I'm pretty comfortable rocketing it, just because Musketeers, I just hope he doesn't have Sparky, but even if he does, I should be fine, because if he goes Sparky in the back, I can... Okay, so... Ooh, so it is going to be Giant Graveyard. I'm going to wait a little bit for the skeletons to pile up, and then go for the log. So this is actually going to be I mean, I don't know exactly what this matchup is, but to be honest, I don't think it's going to be that easy because he has Musketeer as well as... I don't know, I just don't... Ooh, can we NATO that to the... Nah, there's actually no way we could have NATO'd that because... I guess it's fine. Yeah, okay, he just spent 7 elixir. Okay, that's fine. Let's go for a knight here on this Musketeer. Yeah, this is going to be a little bit difficult, not going to lie. I really hope he goes Mini P.E.K.K.A. and we can Tornado to the king, but I don't think he's going to do that. People who run Giant Graveyard are pretty smart and don't do that. Oh! Wow! He messed up the defense. I'm fine letting the Giant... Wow, guys, I actually can't believe it. I forget what happened, but he played the Mini P.E.K.K.A. maybe too far back. And just like that, we're in a pretty good position. In a matchup that I honestly would consider pretty difficult. Maybe it isn't like a hard counter, but I feel like it's certainly not easy, just because, I mean, Giant Musketeer, and then as well as Graveyard, usually Graveyard itself isn't really something you want to see, but we managed to win. I mean, you know what might help a little bit? The fact that the bats got a nerf. You know, bats are actually, they low-key, bats were really, really good versus XBOW when they did more DPS, just because bats are good against, I don't know, like, distracting the Tesla, against the Knight, and, you know, even XBOWs at the bridge, so maybe that helps a little bit, or maybe just he made too many mistakes. Like, I guess, I don't even know how I got an XBOW connection, but he just played something too far back, so I think maybe had he not done that, we would have lost, or it would have been much closer. But anyway, we're working our way up 6,400 now, let's keep going, and yeah, see how far we can get. I'll probably play at least, you know, 3 more games or so, depending how long they are. Okay, so don't have skeletons in my starting hand. We might just wait a couple seconds. If he doesn't do anything, I'll just cycle a log. Okay, so bar barrel, that could be a lot of different things, but I mean, it's usually paired with Graveyard, so there's a high chance it's Graveyard. I'm going to cycle Knight. I mean, usually it's okay to leak a little bit of Elixir, but overall it's a deck where you definitely do want to be making the first move. I'm going to go for my own Ice Wizard, and let's see if he goes for a Poison. If he goes for a Poison, I actually can go... Ooh. I think I can actually go for Expo in the opposite lane. Wow, he's not using... I thought he was using Graveyard because he had Ice Wizard and Baby Dragon, as well as Bar Barrel. But he clearly has Golem, so that wasn't really good, that Expo. But now that I know it's Golem, I am going to Expo now. That Golem can be tornadoed back, but I don't think spending 9 elixir in single is a good idea because it's quite easy for them to punish you. So instead, we're just going to set up defense. And honestly, guys, this isn't even that bad of a matchup at all, so hopefully we can make a comeback. A lot of people think, like, well, Golem counter is 2.9, but when you have Ice Bow, it's actually not a bad matchup at all because you kind of... Wow. We do get the Expo to lock on the tower, though. And that's rocket range already. Okay, so pretty much all we need to do is defend one Golem push, and then we win. But if we don't defend, we pretty much lose. Because Okay, here we go. Let's go for the rocket. Because he dropped his lightning, we can just go for another Tesla. And I don't think he can get back to another lightning, and even if he did, wouldn't even be enough damage. Wow. So we kind of started out in a pretty bad spot, but he kind of let the Expo lock on, or I shouldn't say he let the Expo lock on, but he had his Golem out of rotation, and we had a really nice tornado pulling back everything. The Baby Dragon was locked on our Expo. We tornadoed it back and allowed ourselves to get an Expo connection. So that's pretty much all you need to do. You just need one really solid Expo connection, and then you just have to defend typically 1 or 2 Golem pushes. And this is why the matchup is so much easier when you have Ice Bow rather than when you're using like 2.9 or 3.0 Expo, because the Ice Wizard and Tornado is just so helpful. It's just immensely helpful compared to like, you know, like Archers and like an Ice Spirit. That doesn't really do high DPS, doesn't really slow things down nearly as much as like the Tornado Ice Wiz combo. Okay, so we can just go Skellies in the back here. See what he... Okay, so if he's just going to Giant first play, we'll Expo in the opposite lane. I guess I'll go Knight, just pretty much as long as we have Tesla, we should be okay. And he either has Giant, Graveyard, or Golem. Sorry, Giant, Graveyard, or Sparky. That's what I meant to say. There's nothing else it could be. So again, Giant, Graveyard, in my opinion, it's a difficult matchup, so we'll see if we can once again win it. I don't want to rocket the Musketeer because he's up at least an Elixir, maybe even 2, so wouldn't really be a good play at all. And that's kind of unfortunate. But this guy's playing way better than the other Giant Graveyard player. So you can see it's actually quite difficult. And he waited to play his Graveyard because he wanted to see if I was going to NATO his Giant back. I didn't because I knew he was going to wait. But, you know, it's so difficult to defend the Graveyard pushes. We do have a little bit of hope because we did get that Expo lock early on, but I think we gotta try to... I meant to block the giant because I thought he was gonna go for a graveyard, but he didn't even go for one, so I guess... Oh my gosh, guys, he didn't have enough elixir to play the giant. Wow, I actually can't believe it. We won this matchup 2 times in the same, like, well, in the last, like, 20 minutes. That's pretty, 16 actually, that's pretty crazy. I mean, I really don't think it's that good of a matchup, but I think we were just pretty... I don't know, I just think we played it pretty well, and also, I don't know if he played it perfectly. I feel like, or maybe it just isn't too bad of a matchup. I really don't know, to be honest. I just typically see good XBOW players lose to Giant Graveyard, so I just think it's not the best, but maybe it's only, like, slightly in their favor, and they don't have a hard counter or anything like that, but I'm really not sure. I think he needed to be a little bit more... like, aggressive. I think what you have to do if you're the Giant Graveyard players, you have to maybe, like, give up a tower and just try to take your tower, because if you get into a 2-tower situation, you're guaranteed to win if you're against XBOW and you have Giant Graveyard. So maybe that's what their mistake was. They're being a little bit too passive where they need to be playing more Giant Graveyard pushes, because the Giant Graveyard pushes are quite difficult for me to stop. But anyway, really happy to win that matchup 2 times. We'll go for Skeletons in the back here, see what he wants to do. He's going to go Bats, so another Bats deck. I doubt we're playing Giant Graveyard again. I mean, if we are, that would just be absolutely crazy, because Giant Graveyard isn't even good in the meta, so if we play it 3 times, I wouldn't even know what to say. I highly doubt it is. I mean, there's a chance, but, like... oh my gosh, guys, we're versus Giant Graveyard again. But he's actually using... it with Bowler and Night Witch, so it's a little different, but I don't know why we keep versing, like, Giant Graveyard, even though it's not even meta. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, you got Bowler. This might even be a little more difficult than the other ones with Bowler. I don't know, I think we need a defensive XBOW. Because if we don't defensive XBOW, like, we can't offensive XBOW because he's just going to Bowler, so I think the only thing I can do, at least in singles, defensive XBOW. It kind of sucks, but I don't really think there's any other option. If he plays a Graveyard, I'm just going to NATO it back. Looks like he doesn't, though. Okay, let's just go in for an XBOW. Wow. So we get an XBOW lock. Ooh, nice. Ice Wizard. Okay, so we just pretty much need to get one more good XBOW lock or cycle 3 rockets. I don't think in this matchup we can cycle 3 rockets. Like, I just don't really see that happening, just because I just don't think it's that good of an idea. So I think we're going to try to... yeah, I mean, getting another Expo lock isn't going to be easy either, especially as we get later and later in the game. So I'm kind of a little bit unsure of if we... Yeah, okay, this is going to be a little bit... We got a solid lead, but I'm just a little nervous about triple. Oh! Nah, we lost. Yeah. Too much stuff on my tower. Way too much stuff. I don't... Log and Tornado, I don't think would have been enough, because Log does 105 and Tornado does 70. Wait, so it does 107. Wait, how much was on his tower? It might have been enough to go Log and Tornado. That was an unfortunate loss. I mean, we pretty much had him the whole game, but just kind of lost control in triple, and that's what I was worried about. Triple, it's... I knew he was going to be able to build up a good push, but I should have... I think Tornado and Log would have been enough. The thing is I don't use too much Tornado, so I haven't gotten used to... Guys, this is kind of bananas, I'm not going to lie. We keep playing against the same decks. Like, the same type of decks. That's kind of bananas. Like, before I started recording, I was getting, like, completely different matchups, but we just seem to be getting, like, the same kind of matchups now. I wonder if the game is, like, rigging the matchups, because like, I'm using XBOW, so they're, like, making me play against Bowler, but I was, before I started recording, versing a whole bunch of other stuff. Like, I was using Icebill, and I was playing against, like, Hog, I was playing against... I don't know, I guess sometimes that's what happens, like, you don't know what matchups you're gonna get, but we seem to be getting, like... Okay, nice Tornado, pulling everything back. But I actually think it's good to showcase these matchups, because I'm not gonna lie, Graveyard is one of the harder matchups for Icebow, so, like, perhaps it's not a bad thing, as it kind of shows you, like, what you want to do. There aren't really any other matchups that I would really consider very, very difficult for Icebow. I mean, Golem you saw, that wasn't really difficult at all, and, like, I guess RG, but RG, you know, I don't even really think it's too difficult either, because Michifu actually beat it when he finished #1 last season. He beat it several times, and that's kind of proof right there. It's probably even a good matchup for Icebow. Because it was so popular in the meta, so he's had to have beaten it quite a bit. The RG deck. We can Rocket the Knight because he was so aggressive with the Graveyard Bowler. He's going to once again apply pressure here with the Graveyard. I'm pretty confident we're going to be able to defend. Just because I actually don't even know what this guy's doing, to be honest. Like, he's just not really playing that well. The problem, though, for us, though, is we can't really go for an offensive Expo because there's just, like, he's got Bowler, he's got, it's like, the Bowler makes it kind of tough. It really does. Hopefully I timed that right. No, we are getting some really good value out of the rockets, which is nice. Yep, and, you know, the first... I don't even know why I go for an XBOW on offense, because it's exactly what I was talking about. I can't even get value out of it. So, defensive XBOW yet again. I mean, it's boring, but it's like what you have to do. You can't really do anything else. It's the same thing when you're against Graveyard Bar Putt. Exactly what you should be doing, just playing defensive XBOWs. And I think that's GG. I don't know for sure, but I think I don't know, this, yeah, I mean, that's tough, man. Like, the last two matchups, like, Bowler, yeah, I don't know what's been up with matchmaking, but, like, we versed a lot of, Graveyard. But yeah, that'll be it for the video. I mean, we lost 2, but we won 4 games. I mean, I'll take it. Not really sure what's been going on with the matchmaking, because you can see before I started recording, we actually got a variety of decks here. But then, for whatever reason, sometimes when I start recording, I just verse the same thing several times, but you can't control the matchups you get. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Regardless, even though there wasn't a ton of variety in the matchups, but actually I feel like it's, once again, kind of a good thing. At least the matchups I was getting weren't very good. So it kind of shows you guys, you know, like how you want to be playing the matchups. And the last game I probably could have won. The only mistake I made, I feel like, was the offensive XBOW. And I think I played it in double. That should have been a defensive XBOW, because I basically allowed him to play a bowler on it, get a 5-for-6 trade, and just, yeah, that was, like, not very good. Just defensive XBOW, always in double and triple when you're against Graveyard, and you should be fine. But that's going to be it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to like it if you did. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And let me know, you know, what decks you guys want me to see, soon in future videos. Haven't done XBOW in a while, that's why I decided to. But let me know if you guys want to see maybe, like, 2.9, 3.0 XBOW. Maybe I can do that next time. Thanks again. Until next time, guys.